Hey, what's up, my peoples? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Sorry, I've been away from the video circuit for the last few days, but I'm over here in Orlando at a conference. I'm at a conference for an author named John Maxwell, whose books I've been reading since, I've been a teenager, about leadership and mentorship, and well before I was an entrepreneur, but I was just, wanting to know about entrepreneurship or leadership. His books were highly recommended to me, and so I've always read them, and I have trouble sometimes retaining what I read. I don't know about you guys, but I have to read stuff like 2 or 3 times because you start multitasking or doing whatever. And I saw online that he was having a conference here in Orlando, which is about a 6-hour drive from me. So I scooted over here, and they had a program for mentorship and leadership certification for public speaking and stuff like that. So I took a bunch of classes, and I'm in their mentorship program for leadership and coaching, which is pretty cool because I was thinking, what better way to apply it to my own coaching, right, is to, be coached by some people that are do this for a living. They're coaches, right? And so I've been in this program, and I've learned a lot, and I'm applying it to my students, on a daily basis. So it's been pretty cool. So got to come here. I met a lot of like-minded people that are kind of on the same path as me, maybe not in the stock business or the stock education business, but just in the business of growth and personal development. And so met some cool contacts. I feel refreshed. I've had a few days off, and today I got back on the horse. And whenever I get back on the horse, I've had a few days off. I like to make sure to get a pulse on the market. When you have a day off, or even if you have a few hours off and you come back cold, you almost always lose. I need to get a pulse on the market, so I tend to take it a little bit easy when I come back. But I made a cool trade today that I thought was interesting, which was on CLVS. I didn't have many shares on it. I bought 200 shares to start, and I layered into it. But it's a cool trade because a lot of times people forget about this, which is the art of actually knowing the previous day's resistance points to time your entry. So one of the things you'll see with kind of CLVS is that, the previous day, you had kind of a range develop here. So it's like a big flag, right? But it's from the previous day. And knowing that range is really, really helpful because when this stock opened up, it had like a little bit of a weak open, and it kind of exploded and broke this range. I essentially added a couple hundred shares. Not, you don't want to go too crazy because it's just your first entry. I added a couple hundred shares as we're breaking out of this pattern. And, lo and behold, the thing ended up spiking up pretty well here, all the way up to $70. And, of course, I sold out half my shares. And then, I ended up rebuying some on the flag and kind of selling out into this peak, and the rest when it broke under the 9 EMA. But it was a really cool setup because it's not your traditional flag pattern, right? It's actually a flag pattern that's based on what happened on the previous day. Something that's so important about trading is knowing your levels. Sometimes we get so focused on what's happening on a minute-by-minute or 5-minute-by-5-minute basis, we forget about what's happening on longer-term picture, which is our daily chart, but also on what's happening on intermediate-term time frames. Right? You have your long-term, intermediate, and then your short-term, which is where you get your entries. But that intermediate-term time frame can help you come up with patterns, but also give you levels to trade around. And knowing those levels can give you an edge when you're looking for entries beyond just what you see on a minute-by-minute basis. Right? So many people are just so focused, they zoom in and they're like, okay, I'm day trading, but you don't have any reference. And so when you look back and you go more on an intermediate term time frame to look at what's been happening over the course of so many days, you'll start to get some levels and ideas on where to sell into and ideas on potentially even where to buy for quick trade. So I hope that helps. It was a quick trade for me. I basically held it for 30 minutes or an hour. But I love that type of trade because you're seeing something on all different angles, right? And as traders, we're always playing three-dimensional chess, right? It's not just what we see in front of us, but what we see behind of us and in front of us, if that's even a word, right? But let me know if that helps, guys. Feel free to leave me any comments. Oh, by the way, last week's webinar, 1,500 of you guys registered. I thought that was pretty cool, man. And even a lot of you guys showed up from there. From that webinar I gave away 5 one-on-one mentorships for a small group class that we will be doing on Monday. So if you guys won that, check your emails. I'll be setting up a time for me to work with you guys. I'm really excited about that too, because that'll be a chance to work with some students that I don't actually have a relationship with yet. I'm going to give them my all and give them the best mentoring they can get, and hopefully they get something out of it. But I know they will, and I'm going to get something amazing out of it too, which is some new friends and be able to pass on my knowledge. So I think that's pretty cool. So guys, I'll see you around, and tomorrow's Friday. Trade well, trade fast, be good. Nothing worse than taking a big loss on a Friday. I've ruined numerous weekends in my life getting a little too crazy on a Friday morning trade. So take it easy and have fun, and I'll see you guys around.
Thanks for watching. If you like that video, subscribe right here. If you want to watch more videos, click right there.